What's up, everyone? This is Tarun Gale from Tarun Gale Fitness, answering your fitness related queries. So, what I do with this section of mine, where you just get to hear my voice, is I get to answer all your questions regarding fitness. So, today's question has come to me from Jahangir Abdul Khader from the Epiglottis. He says, Tarun sir, I'm a big fan of you. I have a medium body size, but my chest have more fat. It's not better. Obviously, it's not better. Give me some suggestion for a workout. I'm going to gym every day. So I had actually replied to Jahangir, where I gave him some suggestions. But I've been getting these questions a lot from lot many of you. So I'm going to address it via a small little presentation, which is going to come handy to all of you folks. So, before I begin, I must tell you that I had the same issue with my chest. So, if you see on the screen, it's not my chest. Uh, it's very, very common, while growing up, if you have a tendency to put on weight, like my problem was that my folks really used to make me eat a lot. And as I grew, and I didn't realize that the fat accumulation happened pretty much all over your body, not just your stomach but also your chest. But as you hit your puberty and you get about 16 to 18 years, it should kind of subside. But for mostly these days, I'm seeing kids and even teenagers and even men in their 20s and 30s, this problem is not getting solved. They feel cardio is the answer. Cardio is actually not the answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to address this issue. It's also called gyno, wherein on the left hand side, if you see, it's called male breast. It's not a good situation. The only cure to the situation is actually surgery. So before you develop gyno, you may want to test it out if you have excessive fat or not. So the steps I'm going to tell you, if chances are 50 to 60% of fat will go from it. If it doesn't, you may want to reevaluate what exactly could that be. So let's begin. So how to remove chest fat? So the first thing I would recommend is minimize your carbs. So I remember the more you eat, especially carbs, it's nothing but it'll build up calories. So the idea for you to lose fat, not just from your chest but from everywhere, is to create calorie deficit. Chances are, if you have chest fat, it is fat. So the best way to minimize fat is to minimize your calories by creating enough calorie deficit for you. And I've said this in my previous videos that if you're taking 2000 calories or 2500 calories, start cutting it down by 300 or 400 and see how it goes for you. So the first is you got to minimize your calories through carbs. Number two, from training perspective, you got to do more push-ups. This is very, very important. It kind of tightens your pectoral muscles. And I remember when I was doing when I realized that I've developed a lot of chest fat, and I started doing push-ups. Somebody told me it's one of the most desi way to kind of fix it. And by default, I started doing it. At least I started off obviously with 15 to 20. I gradually moved down to about 500 a day. Obviously, it's practice. So, push ups can be of great help to you in terms of strengthening your chest and giving that chest that illusion of strong pectoral muscles. So, I think it's very, very effective from the perspective of removing and removing chest fat. It will not completely remove it, but it'll actually make you more strong. It'll give you that shape, that that a male chest shape, which is still better than having a male breast. Number three, you have to do high intensity training. This is again basis my experience. I realized that I cannot to fix my chest fat. I just can't do regular training with at least by 1 to 2 minutes of rest and doing heavy weight training. It has to be high intensity which is 4 to 5 days a week, which means lesser resting period and more to do with strength training. This is very, very effective. You burn more calories. Again, it again boils down to the same point one, your diet, your calorie surplus, calorie deficit. By doing high intensity training and following a calorie deficit and a diet which is low on carbs, it'll have a dual effect in minimizing your body fat percentage, which will eventually reflect on your chest too, and your chest will look little better than it currently does. Number four, if you don't do it, you got to start doing weight training. That's the only way you can fix your chest fat. And you can't, like, I've heard a lot many trainers, when they see guys with the male breasts, they recommend them do chest every day. You can't do chest every day. The only chest exercise you can do every day is a push-up, and that's pretty much more of a warm-up. As I said, you gotta, just start with 20, 25, 30 a day, and gradually take it up to as many as 500 or 1000, depending on your conditioning level. But you got to have a strong weight training plan which is very, very high intensive. Like I mentioned here, it's a high intensity training here. Same thing gets translated to a weight training program. That takes me to my point number 5. You can't do too much cardio, especially if you think by running too much you're only loosening your chest more. That has been my experience. What happens is, when you run, your chest becomes even more saggier. It gets looser. So whatever effort that you put in the gym, it's just kind of dilutes it right there by running. If you really want to do cardio, probably take an elliptical machine or do cycling, but don't run too much. That'll kind of cannibalize the effect. So these are some of the 5 things that I did, which kind of fixed my chest fat by about 70 to 80%, and I'm pretty happy with the results here. So if you want to fix your chest fat, you may want to give this a shot. I hope this helps, Jahangir. For others, if you have any questions regarding your own fitness or anything that you would want me to address via video blog of mine, feel free to ask me and I'm happy to answer. So till we meet again, see you.